Hey, Michelle LLC here. Hope you are having an outstanding day. So, if you look at me and you know me and you follow me, then you know that I have living glitter syndrome. And I couldn't even get that out. But I have living glitter syndrome, right? This wonderful ability to shine bright even when others are trying to have me dim my light. Well, one of the things that was interesting as a child was I was always told my energy was over the top. I just needed to settle down and whatnot. And I was diagnosed with dyslexia and ADHD. Well, as I've gotten older, I found that maybe those diagnoses aren't completely accurate, but I've also found out that some of the things were accurate. Like, I am not a good reader. I am a horrible speller. I am at times when it comes to grammar, yeah, whatever. I'm not a proofreader. Now, I'm not saying that I couldn't be and I couldn't practice those things and become great at them, but they're just not my natural gift. My natural gift, though, is the use of words. I can write and I can speak with eloquence. It just may need some tweaking. So, how do we figure out what our gifts are and still stay powerful in those things? Well, one is identifying what is really going on. I am in the process of putting quite a few things together, and a lot of things are asking me to pull a lot of information out of my brain and create stuff that is written. Now, not a problem, but I can easily find myself overworked and just under a lot of pressure where my brain just feels like it's about to explode. As a child, I couldn't express this. I couldn't express that when I'm thinking and when I'm doing things, that it's almost like I'm pushing the gas to the floor and that the engine is just like, to the point where it just starts to overheat and kind of shuts down for safety mechanisms, right? So if that is what's happening within me, like yesterday I came home, I was exhausted, and really I hadn't done anything other than was power thinking. And I was out for 4.5 hours, and then it took me about an hour and a half to really wake up without the fog, without the frustration in my head, the irritation, I guess I would say, and better than frustration. But then also my eyes were just really struggling. So I know I don't have a vision problem, but what I do know is that when I'm doing certain things, that I push myself harder in certain areas than I do in others, and in that I can find myself really pushing the throttle full notch. I don't know if that's how you say it, but just really going full force, which is going to lead to exhaustion. And so being able to put that to words was really important to me, because as a child, I remember doing certain things and really giving it my all. And then it was just like blank. So to the outside world, she's being lazy. She's not trying. She's unfocused. She just wants to play. And granted, I did want to play. But I also was trying to do my absolute best, and sometimes in doing my best, I push so hard that I push myself past the limits. So today, as I'm working on getting a 501c3 proposal together, as I'm getting a proposal for an after-school program together, as I'm writing my book, as I'm putting together a high school event, these things are all drawing from me, and I had to stop and say, you know what, sometimes breathing isn't enough. Sometimes it's the food I'm eating. I need to make sure that I'm powering my mind, I'm powering my body to be exceptional. So I say that because I think it's really important, especially if we're working with kids, that we don't assume that a child is just stopping and giving up because they're not interested, that maybe there's some other things that we can do. If you see a student that is struggling with maybe they're reading or they're writing, and it's like they were just working really hard and now they're like completely off. Maybe we need to stop and evaluate how their actual mind is working and what they actually need to be successful, and look for other tools and other ways to support them. Because that is what I'm working on right now, is ways to support myself. And when I ask for help, not to be told to breathe, I breathe. I know how to relax. I take the time to relax and just recenter. But sometimes the muscle itself is what I need support with. It's figuring out how to feed it. So I'm starting some supplements. I'll tell you how they work. I'm definitely changing a lot of the foods that I'm eating. I'm becoming way more aware of when I eat certain foods, all of a sudden I feel like I gotta sleep. That's a telltale sign that that's not a healthy food for you. When you eat, you should feel like, I'm ready to do the most amazing things ever. So being tired after you eat is definitely a sign that whatever you're eating is something that may not be beneficial for your system. So with that being said, I want to just share this because I think as I progress, because at some point I'm going to have a stylist. At some point I won't be holding this phone as my camera. At some point I'm going to have a whole crew of people that are making the things that I'm doing easier because they're on board with me. But until then, I want to really show that it's like these things take time, and the things that we're doing step by step are things that we're going to have to go through. This isn't just like all of a sudden, oh, everything was so easy, it just looks so easy. No, there are struggles behind the scene. There are things that are happening that are not always easy, and that we have to push through to get to the results that we want. So my push through right now is pushing through what's going on in my brain, keeping it organized, keeping it focused, and getting through the work. So with that being said, I hope you have the most amazing weekend. I believe it is Labor Day weekend. And so that means as we watch the nation honor and give praise to John McCain, who we thank for his service to our United States, some of us are going to be sitting by a pool hanging out and not going to work. So those of you, take the time to refresh, renew, and remember, smiling is powerful. So eat well and live well. Deuces, Michelle LLC.